very proud of the resiliency of this group. Certainly numerous times they could have turned it in, and they never did. And I never felt like they would. And that's the you've got to have some reward for going through the hard stretch that we've gone through, and the reward is resiliency. And I'm not sure I could get it across to you, or if most people would have any idea how hard it is to keep coming back day after day when you're working so hard and you're right there, and then it doesn't go the right way. And that's what they've had to deal with. But there's not been one day in here. The Michigan game we didn't play quite as well, but at the end. But there's not been one day in here where these guys didn't get it going, didn't bring it at a high level of focus, work, preparation. And if you do those things and you stay consistent with it, at some point in time, the bounce is going to go your way. And literally, the bounce went our way. So, Northwestern's an outstanding team. They're an NCAA tournament team if I know anything about basketball, and I don't know if I do or if I don't, but I do think that they are one. He's done a great job coaching his team, building his team, and they have a lot to be proud of. It was a great battle, but our guys to find a way down 7 with a minute and a half, whatever it was, to stay in there and keep coming, especially after, I don't remember when Bryant banked the 3, but for our guys to do that, very, very proud of them. Go ahead. Pete.
Tom, the sequence at the end of the first half where you're down by 12 and then you go to the 22 run, what was the key to that?
Defense. They were 3, I think, of 18 when they didn't get in the paint. So it was defensive stops, and that was the biggest thing.
After James hit that 3 towards the end to bring you within 2, and Northwestern got the ball back on the possession that McIntosh hit the shot before the dunk, what did you kind of tell your guys as far as defense?
No, I was like, I don't even know, man. You give me sequences I can't even think about. So I don't know. I'm sure I said something. It probably didn't work, but said something. Go ahead.
Trish.
How much of a momentum boost was that Devontae Green buzzer beater to cap off the 22-0 run?
It gave us 3 more points. I think that's what was cool. It energized the crowd. The players felt good with that, but we didn't come out and have the same response at the start of the second half that we needed to. And so, but no question, to cap off a half, this team is not used to going on 22-0 runs, right? We've had teams in the past that have done that. This one hasn't as much, but again, it was how they got it. They got it with the defense. And so it was a great shot. I didn't get a good look at it, so I'll watch that later, but you don't get to see that every day. So a lot of remarkable things tonight. Bob Hamill just said no one's ever been proposed to on senior night, right? That was actually on the court, so that was cool.
Terry.
Were you in on Colin's plans?
Yeah, absolutely. Not many were, and I kept it quiet. He told my wife, and he told me it's been in the works for a little while. But absolutely.
You got contributions from different guys at different points, but during that 22-0 run, Devontae Green's play overall, outside, the 3 that goes in.
Very good.
What were the things that you saw?
I think that group. I think the Devontae, Duran, James, Josh, if I remember correctly, I think that group was plus 15 in the first half. That's outstanding.
Okay.
And I think he just he played with a high motor, moved the ball. There's certain things you got to live with. The one turnover late in the game, it's just not there. He's going to get so much better when he can play with those eyes up, and he'll be such a better player. He really will. Most guys go through it, and he's got to get to that point. But he played hard. He just played basketball, and he held his matchups very well. So he did an outstanding job.
Just that lasted about 9 seconds from when James grabs it, gets the length of the court, dumps it off for Thomas. Sort of, how did you see that unfold? Were you trying to get? Were you looking for a time out there?
It was just a great play. They did a great job.
They were doubling Thomas a lot inside, and you continue to adjust in the second half away from it.
There's 2 things we weren't doing with the double. Okay, it's a post escape. The post escape, we were holding the ball too long on the first pass. The pass out of the trap is usually going to be the second pass. And so 2 things need to happen. Well, 3 things need to happen. You get it swung, okay, to the first pass. You get it swung again quickly to the other side, and you sprint in front of the nearest man. So whether it's your man or the doubler, okay, sprint in front of him and seal him in the middle of the paint. We weren't doing a very good job of that. We were holding the ball, trying to dribble it rather than reverse it. And that's where we had some slippage, you know, and we knew, you know, part of our adjustment package, you can't not play through your four-man when you know that's who the double is at times, but we tried to move them more in the second half, just like we opened the game trying to move them, but invariably when the ball's going in the post randomly, they're going to get in there. So we work every day on post escape, and we just didn't get that ball swung as quickly. We were trying to look to throw it back in, same side, rather than get a reverse flash middle.
How satisfying is it not only to break the losing skid that you guys were on, but to send a guy like Colin Hartman out? Oh,
I think it's great for I'm happy for the players. I mean, I really am. We've coached 18 years. There's very little I haven't been through, very little I haven't seen. Not a lot anymore affects me one way or the other, but senior night always will, and no question about it. And especially knowing what I knew, you know, was going to transpire after. You want that to be good, and so it's fantastic. And it's bittersweet with Colin, but it's like I said in here yesterday. It's the epitome of what you want Indiana basketball to be. He's got options. He can move into a great position work-wise, or he can come back and play another year. And no one can fault him either way. He's done a fantastic job. But he is you can all see it. I mean, he is an outstanding young man with an outstanding family, and now he's joining another one. So that's great.
I guess, I don't know if you did anything like that, Marquette, but is that your first proposal on
I'd have to think, but I'd imagine, yeah, I think so.
With Perler late in the second half, how encouraging was it just to get a couple minutes?
Good, very good, because we were in a different defense, and once we went back man, we didn't feel as good with it. But Thomas needed to settle in a little bit, and we needed. I felt good with that. You know, there's been a couple other times we've been close to that, and he did it. He did fine.
Anything else?
Just real quick, you said yesterday Colin still open. Did he tip his hand after tonight's game one way or the other? I'm guessing not, but
I wouldn't think so, no.
Okay.
But sorry to bounce ahead a couple days, but with Purdue coming back, looking at that matchup again, is there anything you kind of...
Well, we'll get into that tonight. It's another one of those games like I reminded these guys. Who's at the top of the league right now? Wisconsin, Maryland, Purdue?
Purdue and Wisconsin.
Yeah. All three of those games came down to either the buzzer, the last possession, or the last two possessions. And so what these guys have got to understand, all right, you know, we didn't get those wins, but at the end of the day, we just got to figure out how to get over those humps. Will it be easy in there? No, absolutely not. Very difficult place to play. They're good. They hit on all cylinders. We'll make adjustments in our plan. There'll be some different things we'll need to do, no doubt about that, as we've gotten a little bit healthier. And at the end of the day, you've got to go in there and weather runs. I mean, we're not going to be able to go in there and have periods of time where we're not getting good looks and we're turning the ball over. But at the end of the day with them, it's defending them in transition and it's blocking out at the end, so they're not getting the second shots. That's the most important thing, I think, and then just kind of build as we go.
All right, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your